Hebdo attacks, when everyone was talking about freedom of speech, I found that even then, even when we primed people to think about the Charlie Hebdo attacks, less than 50% of people considered freedom of speech a sacred value. And we found similar findings in the United States as well. So for whatever reason, liberal democratic values are not sacralizing, they're not motivating people, they're not really resonating with people on a deep level. And that's exactly where some of these more tribalistic movements, whether it's the extreme right-wing or jihadist movements, can really appeal to people, because they're offering them sacred values. They're offering something that's transcendent, and they're basically saying, look, hey, we're not telling you to be hedonistic and find yourself and just live this kind of individualistically pleasurable life. We're saying the opposite. We're saying give up your security. Give up your personal happiness for something that's transcendent and meaningful and important, and it's going to help the greater good.
Nafees Hamid heeft jarenlang onderzoek gedaan naar radicalisering. Wat maakt jongeren er zo ontvankelijk voor?
What a recruiter would basically say is, democracy is a lie. It pretends to give power to the people, but it doesn't do anything like that. Because the truth is, even in democratic nations, you have this small elite that control the media, that control politics, that control the rest of the world as well, in terms of exploiting natural resources in other countries. That are basically older, rich, white men. And they build their wealth and power and influence on the backs of the poorest and the weakest in their society and in other societies. And they're that 1% that control everything. And so in a democracy, you keep seeing the same people being elected again and again, and the same few people who are, controlling the rest of society. So where is this power to the people, even in democratic nations? It's still an oligarchy of the rich, white, and powerful that are manipulating everything. And think about the world we live in now, where security companies, intelligence agencies, they can turn on your phones, they can turn on the camera on your computer, they have satellites and drones in the sky, they can monitor your every move. This is the level of security that exists now. Imagine 100 years from now. Imagine as technology grows, how much power they're going to have, this very small group of people. There's always been rebel groups throughout human history. But this may be one of the last times in human history where a bunch of young guys with guns in the desert can cause the fear of God to be put into these world leaders. So then my question to you is, do you want to go work at the local convenience store? Or do you want to be part of what could potentially be the last anti-establishment movement in history? You choose the life you want to have. Now that's an incredibly powerful narrative to a young guy who has no hope, or a young woman who has no hope otherwise. And that's the narrative that we're competing with.